to begin to wake our people to this core of unity. And we cannot unite without calling back our traditional heritage. Like we have what is it called, festivals. We have Mangu Ekpo, Egugu festivals and all that. We have New Yam festivals. We have Ifajioko. There are a lot of festivals. We have the ones we do an Ikenga celebration, but those things are no more in vogue. And these things, when we begin to call those things back, it will play a major role in making an Indoki person to know that he's related to somebody from a Kalan. Because if they too are celebrating that New Year festival, we are celebrating it, all the masquerades are back, the festivals are back, you will see similarities, you will see things that will make every one of us to understand that we are one.
Beautiful people, beautiful people. The great people of the Igbo race, the Igbo nation. Ndokwa, Ndokwani, Ndeka, Nde Ikwere, Ndechie, Nde Omuma, Nde Owere, Nde Mbise, Nde Ndoki, Nde Anambra, Nde Egbema, Nde Aro, Ndaro Chukwu, Ndaro Niine. I am calling on you all. I'm greeting you. I'm sending a special warm greetings to you all today because I am happy for what is happening to our consciousness today. I am happy for what is starting up the revolution, our identical and cultural revolution, which has just commenced. Well, without wasting much of your time, I will introduce myself. My name is Chukwemeka Ndokaku, aka XTYP, the extra talented young progressive entrepreneur, the RAB refinable boy, SBGC street boy gone classy. And I'm repping, I'm doing this under the platform of Namen TV. And I have here a notable, a prestigious son of the soil. Onya Musirike. I will give you the privilege and the honor of introducing yourself again. Thank you, sir.
Yes, so Muchineke Kenemono, Afamobo, Oyengo Madu Kaine, as you all know, Omwana Fumaka Ikanibo, or ye Ongo Kaobo. Na during our time, diko oge awa, na anyị na-agbasa ozi ọma efu na Igbo niile dị n'otu. And mgbe mbịa chọpụtakwa nwanne anyị nwoke nna my brother Obijum Anwele, and we are working to make sure that Igbos all across Nigeria are united with one single purpose, and that is our cause.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, whenever you reassure me like this, I have this, my encouragement and my hope more reinforced. I thank you so much. You know, I'm an Igbo Ebuka. When we start counting numbers, as in Nishi per head, as in census, Igbo is one of the largest ethnic groups in Nigeria. Yes. I thank you. Ndeka, I thank you. I thank you. All right. We're not going to waste much time. We have a very special day today. Our topics has been extended.
Yes.
It is the Unify Igbos now.
Now, it is Unify Igbo now. The project, the urgency of this particular movement is, I want it to be a thing of all Igbo, and I want it to be that every Igbo son and daughter, fully born son of the soil, should have it in his or her consciousness that it is his or her own duty to make sure that Igbos are united.
Okay, all right. Udo, thank you. Okay, just like you said, I think I have number one here. The number one thing I here. Well, viewers, sorry, I really must use this opportunity before we proceed to thank you all, our viewers, our followers, who has been supporting these programs immensely from different ways. Some has donated money. You know, money is very, very important for us to go from here to there, travel all these places. Right now, we are in Onitsha, the bubbling city, the commercial city of Onitsha, where I met him for us to do this and do it in peace and in love and in brotherliness. So I thank you, my followers. I thank you, every person who has been following this program. To the people that have been commenting, to the people that have been giving stars, to the people that have been sharing this post, telling us, encouraging us, and giving us moral support. A lot of inbox messages. I have been reading it. I thank you. Keep it coming. All right. I have a lot of suggestions that we are putting in place. And one of those suggestions is this one that we are here now. A lot of people mentioned Mr. Kainebi, who anchors the program Eka na Igbo. All right. Okay. Let me quickly go on to our first topic. We have about 5 topics here or more, but we will still be putting more as we progress. All right, Mr. Kainebi, we have here the number 1. We have the urgency of this project. Yes. The urgency of this project. What do you have to say about this?
When we talk about the urgency of this, the urgency of this project, is this as it stands now. The issue we have at hand, looking at the condition, the Igbos, or the way we are being treated in Nigeria, every son and daughter of Igbo land, this is the time you take this project as your own. It shouldn't be a matter of Namen TV and Ikan Igbo alone. This is a call for everyone to be part of this move because we can't do it alone. We started the program, and your support in making sure that this gospel move right round and reach, to every crony and every nook and cranny of Igbo land. How did I mean? Money is not all we are talking about, making sure you are part of it. You can be part of those who gossip this program, making sure you share the program, making sure you connect people to this program, making sure you make people have the idea of this program. That could be your own personal role. And once you dedicate yourself to it, is a very good one. So we want you to be part. Make sure that people get to know about this in Namen TV. Make sure that people get to know this platform, Eka and Igbo. Make sure that people get to know about this program. It's a call for every son and daughter of Igbo land.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, the urgency is not about the money. It's
all about the awareness, creating the awareness, making people have understanding that we have been for so long deceived. We have been for so long denied this brotherly unity, love among us. We have been so long denied so many things, and that is why we are fighting to make sure that those things that we have been denied of are being, restored.
Okay. All right. Thank you again.
You're welcome.
All right. All right. Let's because I can be an Kenke. Can we cover so that we can be able to cover up on everything? Is the unified Igbos now? Okay. How far we have gone? How far we have gone?
Looking at we've been able to create awareness, and people have started waking up. Many people have started asking questions to some things they are not aware of. And it's all about the effort you and I are putting on, and the effort of our followers, those who are sharing and making sure that people are getting connected to the program that we are running on social media. We've not actually done well. Have not actually done well. As far as the quest is concerned, we've not actually done well. And that is why I say we have not actually done well, is that we don't need to relax, because we still need to put more effort, energy, strength to make sure that before we will say we've done well, we'll look at the journey and see that everybody is now wearing this ideology as a clothes. That is when we will now say we've done well. For now, there are still people who have not heard about this program. There are still people who have not taken this program as their own concern. And that is why I say we've not done well.
Yeah, coming to that, I think you have a valid point, very, very valid point, because the we can, yes, we have not done anything. We just getting started.
Yeah, we just started.
Exactly. So
Started, yeah.
because I think there are many ways, you understand, there should be subliminal messages being passed across. Subliminal messages, materials, prints. You should see me and you see a unified Igbos now, and you begin to, you that is, maybe you are still in doubt about your identity. You can be in, you will now be like, what is these people talking about?
What are they saying?
Okay, you now tune in, you now check your phone, you see people talking about the Ndokwa man, the Ikwere man, the Eche, the Ndoki, and everything. And you understand, and you begin to ask questions. That is when we can say we have achieved an ideological stand on this unified Igbos, because every Igbo person should be talking about his identity. We should not be scared. We should not be afraid or shy.
There is nothing to be scared about. One thing I've come to realize is I always say it each time I'm running a program like this, that whenever we allow lies to stay for a very long time, automatically the false information will become truth. So what we have been living with is an information that is not truth, because no one has taken it upon him or herself to question those information. It has become truth
to them.
It has become truth to most of us. And that is why we are finding it difficult to convince many that what you are taking to yourself to be truth is false. If you want to go biblically, you want to go religiously, a word said that you become what you hear. So our people, I'm not always surprised when I see a grown-up man, people who should be telling us history, who should be telling us about our history, telling us that what you are saying is wrong. I don't blame them, because they have lived all their life with wrong information. So you coming up at that age or at that stage to tell them that what they have been living with is a false information, you don't expect them to accept it very easy.
Yes.
So easily. So that is one of the challenges we are facing today. Okay. That is one of the challenges.
Yeah, just like you said, I have this. I stumbled upon this write-up this morning from on Facebook. He said, just because your parents taught you something, it does not make it. It does not mean it's true.
It does not make that information.
The writer goes on to say, likewise, just because you feel it's true or want it to be true does not mean it's true. You are an adult now. It's time to apply research, reason, logic, and critical thought.
Yes. And when we talk about research, this is one thing that has kept Africa the way they are today. Because the books we read today in a high institution like physics, chemistry, and all that has been outdated. The white that compile some of these physics whatsoever are no more relying on those information, because they have moved ahead. They've taken a step, making advancements on those knowledge. But we as Africa, we are already stagnated with that information. We don't want to take a step further to see whether the information at our disposal is true or false. This is one of the major problems and challenge we are facing as an Africa. Now, I said yesterday on our program that as far as Igbos are concerned, the histories that are on our disposal, that are on internet, are false history, because those histories are not written by Igbos. They are not written by the people. The history, the information that are on the internet today are history compiled by strangers. So strangers cannot say more. They cannot say better about us. So that is why I'm calling on all the well-meaning sons of Igbo race to stand up. Let us begin to dig deep into our culture, into our existence, to actually find out who we truly are, because most of us, we don't know who we are.
Wow, man. So, well, thank you again. We must proceed. We must carry on. Okay, I have this on the number three of our topics this morning. How do we make this project? How do we make this project
an Igbo project.
Yes, for all Igbos.
For all Igbo.
For all Igbos, yes.
Now we've taken a step. One of the steps is what we are doing now, enlightening our people, making our people see reason to actually take a step further to question every information at their disposal. And secondly, is to actually begin to make research on some of the tradition and cultural values, you know, and at the same time, drawing attention of our people to every findings or every discoveries that we made at the course of this research. That is another one. Thirdly, we need to make sure we make use of every what is it called? Every necessary
Like media, media, everything.
every necessary avenue, like media, like when we talk about media, movies involved. There are people who are into comedy, creating content that will
Content.
always bring to our consciousness of who we are. These are things that will actually make our children, our youth, even we, our parents, people to begin to go deep and begin to make more research about ourselves and our identity. So these are things I think we should do.
Thank you. Now, music, movies, and contents, comic contents. You understand? Promoting the identity.
The identity of Igbo race. We don't need to stay at a place and just like what you are doing, I will still commend you on this program. You've actually taken a step beyond so many people's expectation. You've done what no one has done as far as the race or the journey of bringing Igbo race together is concerned. I started it before you, but you've done what I couldn't do. You know, putting your life on the on the line shows how passionate you are. I will still commend you on that. You are doing great.
Thank you.
And we need people to actually come up to encourage someone like you who has abandoned every other means of livelihood and taken up this particular step in making sure that Igbos are united. It's a good one.
I appreciate. I think that is you said it. We are on this not for any gratification, not for any instant gratification, but for the passion to see Igbos unite. You understand? But before I proceed to the next, I want to tell a story to my viewers. I've not said this to, I've not said it on air before, but I want to tell a story how we started, how I started. You get it? The passion to see Igbos speak in one voice or unify started way back 2002. Way back 2002 when my late father sent me to my uncle's place in Port Harcourt to study over there, you know, to have a change of environment, you know, and have a proper education like that. So I was admitted into a secondary school somewhere in Ikwere Road, Port Harcourt, Diob. So I believe that was First Foundation. That was the name of the school. First Foundation International Schools is a secondary school. So there I met, as an Aba boy, I grew up in Aba. I speak Igbo. Coming to Port Harcourt, I needed to fit in because most of the people, what they speak is Pidgin and English. So, but I was not fitting in. So, but I needed a friend. So I started going to people with a similar name that I know, and I will want to make friends with them. So, but unfortunately, they wouldn't identify with me. They like with my Igbo. If I speak Igbo, they detest it. They don't want to hear it. They look at me as they call me one na man. You know, they look at me as local because I speak Igbo. Okay. Yeah. So and in the class we have Dapas, we have Opusunju, we have Soka, we have names that are not Igbo, that are not Igbotic. And I know that I don't have much similarities. I don't have much similarity in terms of identity and culture with these people. So I was always trying to identify with Chidima Ifani and Obonda. Obonda. So those are the names I was conversant with then. So, but then they outrightly rejected me. So, and when I asked them, when I inquired further, they told me that no, they are not Igbo. They are not. They call it Igbo. They are not Igbo. And I was embarrassed. I was so much embarrassed. That was where the spark ignited. That was where the fire ignited. So after a while, I went back to Aba. After a while in the school, I went back to Aba. So that was where I now started digging deep. Why is Ifeanyi not an Igbo? Ifeanyi in Rivers not an Igbo? The Chinedu in Rivers not an Igbo? So what is the difference between the Chinedu in Rivers and the Chinedu in Aba? The Chinedu in Oka or the Chinedu in Enugu? Now, yes, Onyishi in Eka, or Onyishi in Ebanke. It's not the same Onyishi in Anambra, in Onitsha. So I began to wonder. So I think that was what ignited the spark in me that made it possible for me to now start inquiring. I want to ask, well, how do you call this? In as much as even when I've not started this program, when I go to a place that are not, and I see people from other places, even in the same Igbo, I mean in the same Southeast, I want to ask you, how do you call this in your own dialect? How do you do this? Culture, I'm always interested in culture. So I say, well, how do you do this in your own? How do you do this? And it became similar, and I want to know more. So, well, thank you. This is my own story, and I'm happy sharing it. I'm free now. All right, let's go to number 4. Number 4 here in our topic says the role of our traditional leaders and religious leaders.
A lot of damage. If I want to comment from that angle, a lot of damage has been done to our unity.
Okay, start with start with the traditional leaders. What do you have to say about that? Start from traditional leaders.
What I want to say, what I want to actually cite here is that a lot of damage has been actually done to our origin and our identity as a people, as an Igbo race. The reason why it looks as if in Nigeria Igbos are weak is because the enemy took advantage of this division among us, and they capitalize on it, making sure that this unity is not something that will be coming soon. Because they know that when we are united, that they can't defeat us. Now, our leaders, our traditional leaders, were also, they played a major role in this division. How did I mean? Initially, when you come to our land as an Igbo people, we don't run a system of monarchy. We have what is called Obaruku or Ndiche or Ndiokeyen. But when the introduction of this monarchy system was, introduced into our system, a lot began to happen. And at a point, we don't normally choose this position through our spiritual means anymore. It becomes politically. Because it is now politically, every king you see in Igbo land today is a political chief and is a political king. Because they have their certificate or they are called to throne by the sitting governor or whatsoever. And everything they do, as far as that throne is concerned, will be according to what the governor want them to do, not according to what the ancestors want them to do. So everything about us now become political because we are no more relying on our ancestral heritage and the way we do things anymore. That gives birth to more division among us. Now, when they created the states, Anambra, Imo, Abia, Delta, Ebonyi, Cross River, Calabar, River State, Edo State, that also played a major role in dividing us the more. Politically, our people fail to understand that the state creation was made to actually attract development in some certain geographical area, not actually to divide us identically, or not actually to divide us origin wise, and dividing us from who we are. But what happened actually is that our people fail to understand that politically we have been into existence before politics. We have been a people before the creation of any state you can talk about. So our traditional leaders fail to understand that we are a people before politics. So they allow politics to come into our tradition and our heritage, allowing it to divide us. So what we should do now is to make sure that our traditional rulers and leaders are waking up to this core of unity, because they have a major role to play in making sure that this unity that we're calling for is achieved. One, as a traditional ruler, that you are a king in what is it called? Otuocha, does not make you different from somebody from Aguleri. Having a king in Okuzo and as well having a king in Akumazi, there is no difference, because we are a people before that monarchy system. So our kings have a major role to play in uniting us. One, how did I mean? There are some of the cultures and traditions that has been, taken out of course. They have gone into extinction. So what are we going to do? Is a core that we need to put to our traditional rulers, so that they should come up and begin to wake our people to this core of unity. And we cannot unite without calling back our traditional heritage. Like we have what is it called, festivals. We have Mangu Ekpo, Egugu festivals and all that. We have New Yam festivals. We have Ifajioko. There are a lot of festivals. We have the ones we do an Ikenga celebration, but those things are no more in vogue. And these things, when we begin to call those things back, it will play a major role in making an Indoki person to know that he's related to somebody from a Kalan. Because if they too are celebrating that New Year festival, we are celebrating it, all the masquerades are back, the festivals are back, you will see similarities, you will see things that will make every one of us to understand that we are one. So that is where our traditional rulers need to play a major role, because we call them custodians of tradition. You and I cannot enforce any tradition on anybody until they are in with us. Because traditionally and culturally, we have time and season based on our market days. We have time and season when we celebrate these cultural heritages. And it is in their own power, and it is in their own position to put a date or to make a call or make a declaration that so time to so time, this community are to celebrate something like this. I can tell you categorically, while I was growing in my community, Akumazo Moacha, there is a festival we call Obanimbe. Overall, do celebrate the Obanimbe. Ekwoma celebrate Obanimbe. When it's time for Akumazi to celebrate their own, Ekwoma people do come. Because this festival shows that we are one. Or when the people do come, and when they are celebrating their own as well, we visit. Akumazi people visit, because this is festival that shows that we are connected spiritually. So we need to call our traditional leaders, because they have a major role to play in uniting us back to this call of unity we are talking about.
Okay, let me, I have said we will be brief so that we can carry on everything. Okay, let's talk about the religious leaders carrying on. And I'm making a point of contact with the name of Evangelist Ebukobi. Evangelist Ebukobi is no doubt a very influential, cleric now, a clergyman who has been doing wonders in his church, in his ministry, helping people. And recently, he has doubled down to evangelize about our identity, to unify Igbos. I watched his programs. He was making a lot of sense and calling out, especially people from the deltas, the Igbos, our brothers that are in the delta, our brothers. Yes,
the Ndokwa people.
Exactly. So, and also the Queries. So, and he was, I think, those the few he called out will certainly go home and ask questions. And talking about this now, the role of our traditional and religious leaders in the unification of the Igbos. What do you think about this? And also using the Mr. Ebukobi as a point.
Now, Mr. If I want
Evangelist, actually.
evangelist, when I want to talk about the religious leaders, talking about the pastors, the reverend fathers, talking about the deacon and deaconess, those who walk in the vineyard of the Lord, I will say it without outer of fear that they too contributed majorly on this division. How did I mean? Because there are difference between tradition and witchcrafting. I have treated this case in one of my programs. Now, do you know one of the major reason some of these churches cannot come boldly and talk about this issue of unity is because it entails them going to awaken some of the things they have rejected. One, listen, you just
I wouldn't want us to digress. I wouldn't. No. I want us to stay online.
Okay.
We are talking about the role, the traditional
I want
rulers.
to tell you.
I wouldn't want us to go how they divided. I want us to talk
Yeah, the
about
role they
how
will
they
play.
have. Yes,
The
and
role-
using that was why I quoted the
Ebukobi.
evangelist
Yeah,
Ebukobi.
the
What
role-
he's doing, is commendable.
Yeah,
So, and I think we should find a way to encourage him more and encourage others to bring in this kind of. So let's talk about evangelist Ebukobi and what he has done so far.
Okay, now Evangelist Ebukobi has actually done well by making some people understand that you cannot deny yourself your true identity and at the same time claiming who you are not. The truth is that he's doing well on his own part. But one thing I still want to point out here is that, my brother, people are running out of tradition and culture today because church made them to see that tradition and culture is evil. That is the point I actually want to make. And any pastor or a reverend father who is ready to make this call of unity should as well be ready to make people understand that there are things that unite us. There are some values. You can't sweep them up under the carpet and trying to achieve positive. And no, you can't achieve anything positive. There are some vital foundations. There are some foundations you need to look into. You can't skip it. If you skip it, your work will be defeated. That is what I'm trying to say here. Your work will be defeated. If you skip it, your work will be defeated. There are some things you cannot skip. You understand me? There are some things you cannot skip. So I know what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say in essence is that religious leaders like pastors and canon, they have major work and their work would have been perfect if they buy the idea. Do you know why? They have a lot of followers and people, their followers believe them so much. We are not telling them to tell them false information. Every right information that is being communicated to their followers, they will buy the idea. But do you know why the idea will not be buy or why they too will not be fully involved in this unification? You cannot sweep the foundation of this movement under the carpet, which signify the cultural value, which talks about the traditional value. You cannot unite the Igbo race, taking away the traditional and the cultural value. That is where the religious leader will have problem. That is where they will have problem with us. I mean what I'm saying. What will make this young man, if you have watched the the New Yam Festival of Ebema people. There's what we call Ogbanibe. Ebema people, they do it, but they don't call it Ogbanibe. That we do it in my own community from Delta State, Akumazo Moja. Most people from Imo say they do it. These are, and if you want to tell these people you are the same with this person, and if you don't want to point to that foundation, what are you going to be telling them? That is where I said that religious leaders actually need to acknowledge the fact that our tradition is one of the things that signifies who we are. That is why I said there are difference between tradition and witchcraft. Somebody who is doing native doctor is not a traditionalist.